Hello everyone, GCC2224 here, and for my 800th subscribers spectacular video, I decided to review probably the best thing I own, and I hate to say that it's better than my Sideshow Commander Cody, but the Sideshow Collectibles exclusive Deluxe Clone Trooper 212th is probably the best thing I own. It's certainly not my favorite. I think Commander Cody's better. It's kind of like my masterpiece Optimus Prime and Soundwave. My Soundwave's my favorite, but I can admit that Optimus Prime's better. This is a really, really, really good figure. There's a lot of nice things about it. And I'm trying to cover it all as briefly as I can, because there's a lot of elements to a Sideshow, and I want to give you the basics if this is your first time watching a Sideshow Collectible review, or I just want to give you, a general look at what this figure has to offer. If you already collect a lot of Sideshows and you already know the basics of, like, the armor pieces and the underbody and all that. But before we get onto the figure itself, I want to show you all the accessories that are not on the figure. What's on the figure currently is the backpack, the 4 droid poppers that are in the backpack, and he is holding the minigun. So yes, let's go look at the other accessories, and then we'll return to the figure. So per any Sideshow, this figure comes with a lot of accessories, and for a Sideshow exclusive, the Deluxe Trooper, it does have a lot of accessories in the, the Clone Trooper department. So first let's take a look at the feet. As you can see on the figure itself, I do have one bent toe and one unbent toe, so here you can see the difference between the feet sculpts. Here we have a boot that's bent so it can get in running positions, and then a normal boot. We have flat hands, fisted hands, which he is packed with, open hands, trigger hands, a gesturing forward hand, pointing hand, thumbs up hand, which is one of my favorites. And then for the guns, the standard guns, we do have the DC-15 carbine, which is beautifully detailed. And they did correct the issue of past DC-15 carbines, where the foldable stock is a lot tighter on this one and stays still, while on other ones, like my Commander Cody, which I'll give you a comparison between the two later, it's pretty loose. So yeah, there's the stock folded out. Looks really good, and he holds it really nice, too. Let's get that back over. Really easy, and if you want to remove the stock for some reason, it's not, like, pinned in, it's just with the little connectors there. All you have to do is just stretch the plastic a bit, and there you go. But considering the price of these things, I don't really recommend you doing that. Also, he does have a DC-15 rifle, which, like the carbine, is very beautifully detailed. I feel like the deco on this rifle is far more realistic than the deco of the Commander Cody rifle in past Sideshows. I can only speak for Commander Cody, though, because that's the only other Sideshow I have. There is a change with this rifle, though. Let me get out Commander Cody's rifle. So number one, you can see the difference in deco. And number two, if you look right here at the tip of the gun, he does have a little groove right there. A gun is not a he, okay? Just putting that out there. Guns aren't he's. What you do, you get this piece, right, which is a nice little grapple piece, which is really nicely painted too. You can actually slide this on very easily. I don't know if it's easy enough for me to do. Yep, it's easy enough for me to do with one hand. So I can slide that on, and you can give him an extra attachment, which is really, really cool. I absolutely love that. And finally, for the other accessory that he is not displayed with, he does come with kind of a made-up Phase 1 head sculpt. I mean, it's pretty much made up by Sideshow. I don't recall this being in the Clone Wars cartoon series whatsoever. But the paint on it is absolutely superb. Let me get a better lighting on it. Yeah, the detail on this is really, really superb. However, I do have a complaint with the orange crest right up there. As you can see, it's off-center, and I don't know if that's with every single one, but it kind of bugs me, and I'm not a huge fan of it. This is actually the second head sculpt for the Phase 1 Clone Trooper, and this figure also has a second head sculpt for the Phase 2 Clone Trooper. Now, I can't compare the Phase 2 head sculpts, because Cody's head sculpt is unique, but I can somewhat compare the Phase 1. As you can see, the designs of the visor mostly is what they changed. Here, let me get the light on so you can see underneath Cody's visor. Yeah, you can see that it changed the visor shape and the level of where the mouth sits, and I think there's some height differences in the helmet itself, because I believe the Cody helmet is just the standard helmet with some attachments to it. So yeah, that's pretty much this helmet. I'm a huge fan of it. Absolutely love all the details that Sideshow gave it, and also just to show off, this is another difference. You can see in their little tabs. I believe the visor and the mouthpiece are actually separate pieces that they inserted into the helmet itself. And I can really see it gives it more of a three-dimensional shape, especially with the visor. So now that we have that out of the way, let's look at the figure itself and all the accessories that he has on him. So let's go ahead and do that. So currently, the 212th Trooper is holding the, I want to call it just the minigun, the chain gun. It's got a technical name, I know, but I really don't know it. He holds it very well, and as you can see, he does come with specialized, like, hands. They're pretty much shaped like this, that hold the minigun. And also, on the back of them, first I want to show off the straps. The straps look very nice. And the straps do have strap adjusters. As you can see right there, there is a little place to adjust to the strap. And the detail on the backpack is absolutely superb. I love the Republic logo. It just looks so cool. I remember Sideshow's promo video for these guys all the way back in like January 2014. Just the music they played as they had the figures on the turntable was fantastic. And that video kind of sold me on this Deluxe 212. Right here, he does have a cloth cover on the backpack, which I really love. And as you can see, it's just a basic little metal clip that goes onto a little plastic thing. On the inside, we do have some droid poppers, which, I mean, you can put them in there. That's where I store them, because it makes the most sense to me. Yeah, let's take a droid popper out. All four of them are identical. It's just a little droid popper, which I really, really love. I do have a question, though, for you Sideshow fans. I do not know what this little hole in the droid poppers are for. I don't know if it tabs in anywhere, or if you can do the thing. I'm really struggling with English today. I don't know if you can like tab it onto the battle droid at all or anywhere. You know, it's just a little droid popper you can put right there. For the rest of the video, I think I'm probably going to take the backpack off and remove the minigun just so I can get a better in-hand look at the 212th Trooper itself. So while we're doing that, let's go ahead and get the figure prepped for just standard, observation. So here is the 212th Trooper, all just, nothing on him. And wow, this is just wow. The color of orange they use is one thing I really want to point out. The color is just so superb. And all the little nicks, all the little scratches they put in just look so fantastic. Honestly, I think it looks a lot more realistic than Commander Cody's deco. And the helmet. The helmet is just so perfect. I have not seen a Clone Trooper helmet that looks any more perfect than this. This is spot on to how the Phase 2 Clone Troopers appear in Revenge of the Sith. The first Sideshow helmet looked kind of off on proportion, kind of off on the shape of the visor and on the shape of the little respirators here, but it's just so fantastic, so perfect. What I want to do here, I want to take off this helmet, give you a close look at this, and show you what he looks like with his Phase 1 helmet on. So taking a look at this helmet a little more closely, it's just so amazing looking. Here, let me actually make a little more effort to get it in focus. Because sometimes with things, they don't want to get into focus. Just look at all the details on this helmet. So superb. Unlike the Phase 1, it does not have the off little orange triangle on the top. Paint is just so perfect. Same thing with the Phase 1, where it looks like the visor was tabbed in, and the visor is so shiny too. Really reflects light in a natural, nice way. You can see the two light sources from both of my desk lamps. So perfect looking. Let's get the Phase 1 helmet on, where this is kind of a small complaint I have. I feel like the Phase 1 helmet sits on a little too much, and also, like I've said before, it's not really from anything. I mean, Waxer and Boyle in the Clone Wars kind of had similar designs to the actual Phase 2 212ths of the future, but this was never seen anywhere. The 212ths in the Clone Wars were pretty much just like the Commander, Lieutenant, Captain, and Sergeant from Attack of the Clones, where it's just orange, and they got rid of the bit of the stripe there and the dots. Yeah, also, considering that I prefer Phase 2 helmets over Phase 1 helmets in design, I will not be displaying them like this most of the time. Sometimes I display Cody with his Phase 1 helmet, so perhaps I'll have the 212th in his Phase 1 helmet to accommodate. The helmets pop off a lot easier than the Commander Cody helmets I've found, which I very much like. So let's get on to the rest of the details of them, because this figure is detailed out the wazoo, dude. It is so detailed. One thing, if you look very, very closely, you can see the pixelization of the deco, because I believe it's like printed on. It's not like paint. I can tell with the guns it's like a wash, but with this it's certainly like decoed on with like a stamp or something. But all the scratches, all the weathering, I don't think there's a single inch of this figure that doesn't have paint on it. It is so perfect. You can see a better look at these claw hands, I'm just going to call. Even on the hands themselves, you saw when I was showing off the accessories. The deco on the hands and the scorch marks. Probably easier to show you once again here. And each hand is consistent with the scorch marks, which I absolutely love. Then the little communicator piece right there, so perfect. Here you can probably see the most of the pixelization, which it's kind of you can't really avoid it, and it looks very, very nice. Looks so perfect. These are seriously museum quality pieces, in my opinion. If you want the nicest of the nice when it comes to clone troopers, when it comes to just Star Wars collectibles, go Sideshow, go Hot Toys, because these are superb. I believe these are better than statues in my personal opinion, because while statues look very, very nice and are made out of probably a better material than this is, because it's kind of light, and I see why they made it light to cut cost, and also because if he wants to tumble over, the heavier he is, the harder he's gonna fall. So all over, just can't get enough. You can just get lost in all the details on this guy. And the undersuit, too, is just fantastic. It really works well with the articulation. Which, speaking of articulation, let's get right down to that. I'll show off the base a little more. It's just the standard Star Wars base they've been using since 2009. I wish all this Rights Reserve stuff was on the bottom of it, so it would just look a lot more streamlined. Like, I don't believe that Rights Reserve stuff is on the... Oh, actually, it is up there on the Cody base. So yeah, let's get on to the articulation of it. So his head is on right here. It's on the neck itself is on a bit of a ball joint, which doesn't really move too much on my copy. And he also has a double ball joint at the neck. So you can get a fair amount of articulation at the head. Pretty much exactly what you want. He has an armpit joint, a butterfly joint as a lot of collectors call it. That's really useful. The arms can move up quite a bit. Even though sometimes with Sideshows it just wants to limp down. I have that with one of my Cody's arms. He does have a swivel at the forearm. That's the forearm. That's the bicep. He has a really nice dual hinge at the elbow. You really got to get into it a little more. You have to move the first hinge more, like right there, and then move the second hinge, and you get more of a nice, way more than 90-degree bend. I'll show off the wrist articulation with one of these hands. It's pretty much like a Revoltech joint, where it can go this way, then you can move the stem itself to go a different way. That's pretty much all it is with the wrists, and it's very, very useful. And they made the peg long enough as to where if you bend the elbow and the armor wants to slide off and remove the peg a bit, the peg will still stay in even if it's not all the way in. The ab crunch is kind of complicated, and I'm not really going to do it because you have to kind of lift up the armor and then be really careful because I don't want to scratch any of the paint off. His hips are really, really good. They move out a lot, and they move forward a lot as well. Enough for a very good crouching position where he's on one knee. Very good. Speaking of knees, they are very, very nice. I would say they bend in about that much. I would do it here, but I'm holding the camera, and I don't want to mess with a $150 figure with just one hand. And the ankles are exactly the same, where it's They're a bit tighter though, and a bit more scarier. Where it's you can hear that click. It's kind of scary. This one's better though. Pretty much the same style of joint. So I think that's pretty much it with the articulation on this guy. One final thing I want to do before I finish off the video is give you a comparison with his commander. Wow. Just wow. Let me get his head up a little more. These look fantastic together. Just so superb. Kind of funny that, as rare as Commander Cody is, I got him on such a good deal, I actually spent more on this one. Oh, wow. These are fantastic. I really, really, really can't stress enough. If you want to change a pace from Hasbro's crap, because if you're just going on to this as your first video from my channel, I mostly review Hasbro Star Wars stuff. If you want to change from Hasbro's crap, honestly, get into Sideshow. I cannot stress enough, get into Sideshow. Sideshow Collectibles work is just so fantastic. And it's so fantastic my camera can't even comprehend the awesomeness and it won't even want to get into focus. I did do a review on Commander Cody if you want to see that. I will leave a link down in the description if you want to see my review on Commander Cody, which I am very impressed with. I got my Commander Cody used, though, so I think there's a couple problems, like his wrist pegs aren't as tight as they are on him. So yeah, guys, I think that's pretty much it. I want to leave you with one final thing, and that is with both of these guys. Well, I'll do it off camera. Both of these guys with the Phase 1 helmets on, just so you can kind of see a little bit of a difference. So let me do that. With Cody's helmet, I have to tug really hard. With that helmet, I just have to... So yeah, they made it certainly a lot easier to pose and a lot easier to use. So there's a 3-year gap between these, and I can really see the change in quality. I feel like the quality is a lot higher on the 212th Trooper here than it is on Cody. As much as I love Cody, as much as if the house was burning down and I could only take one, I would take Cody. It's, you know, I can tell that Sideshow's really stepped up their game, and I highly, highly recommend. If you're not a fan of the 212th, get the Veteran and get the 501st. Get the shiny, where it's just a plain white clone, all shiny nice. All shiny nice. Yeah, my English is very funny in this video. So yeah, guys, that has been my review of the Sideshow Collectibles 1/6 scale militaries of Star Wars Clone Trooper Deluxe figure, in this case the Sideshow exclusive 212th. That's pretty much it, guys. Make sure to comment, like, subscribe. Check out my Facebook page if you have a chance. We'll be probably posting a fair amount of pictures of these two together. Have a good day, guys, and as always, may the Force be with you.